Sonic the Hedgehog was a success when it was first released back in 1991, and it was very popular. And with the success, a sequel would begin development, this game being Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic 2 doesn't really have much of an interesting development history, as it was pretty much just another case of the first game being successful enough to warrant a sequel. Though there are some interesting things to know about the game's development, such as some levels being cut due to time constraints, and the fact that the entire game was made in America, unlike Sonic 1, which was made in Japan. When Sonic 2 was released back in November of 1992, it was a huge success, both critically and financially, and it was the game that made Sonic into a household name. It's still to this day the best-selling Sonic game in the entire series. Many fans consider it to be the best game in the series. I really don't agree with that, but I can agree that it's a darn good game. Sonic 2 does what every good sequel should do: build off of an already existing concept while introducing new ones. It's faster, the levels are even bigger, the platforming is more organic, but it also introduces new stuff like the Spin Dash, Miles Tails Power, and Super Sonic. The Spin Dash was a great addition, as unlike in the first game, where you had to go back a couple spaces and then build up momentum to roll into a breakable passageway, you can just Spin Dash into said breakable barrier, which also keeps up more of a considerable pace, and is also a quick and easy way of building up speed. I also really love the addition of Tails. Not only is he ridiculously adorable,
wow, that sounded so gay,
but he can also be pretty useful, as he can collect any ring that you might have missed, and can even get an extra hit on a boss. The level design is very different from that of the first game. There's even more of an emphasis on speed than that of the first game. However, it's not so fast that it's stupid. In fact, there's still quite a bit of platforming and exploration to be had that it really blends in together very well. The levels are also much more organic than that of the first one. Some of the platforming even requires interaction, which adds more depth to the levels themselves. The level design is overall very imaginative. However, a big issue that Sonic 2 has is its approach to difficulty. It's easily the most frustrating game out of the whole Genesis trilogy. Now, it's not like the game is badly designed, but there are many occasions where the game has ridiculous hazard and enemy placement. Though it isn't too bad that it ruins the game for me, as I have played the game quite enough to get a feel for it. However, there is one particular level that comes to mind. Of course, I am talking about Metropolis Zone. Metropolis Zone is pretty much the worst part of the game, as it has the absolute most worst enemy placement in the game. Yeah, it does have somewhat of a decent level design, and the music is catchy as all heck, but even then, those don't really save it from being quite bad, and it's one of, if not one of the worst levels in the classic series. Yes, even when compared to most of the levels in Sonic CD. Then there are the special stages, which just plain suck. Granted, they are graphically impressive for a Sega Genesis game, but they are horrendously designed. Most of the time, you won't be able to see what's coming ahead of you, which results in either missing control of rings or getting hit by an obstacle and losing even more rings. Then there's Tails, who can also collect rings from the special stages, but instead of having the rings that he collects add up to your ring counter, he has his own ring counter, which makes it possible for him to lose rings also. That, mixed with his retarded AI, adds to the overall insanity of these special stages. What makes them even worse is that even if you make it to the last round, yet you fail to collect the needed amount of rings before you get to the end, then the game just teases you with the Chaos Emerald. Ugh!
You're only hating on the special stages because you suck at them, you punk troll.
Thankfully, if you do manage to beat all the special stages and collect all the emeralds, then you obtain Super Sonic. Not only is Super Sonic a glorified DBZ reference, but it's pretty much Jesus mode. Super Sonic is invincible and even faster. He's pretty much a game breaker, and he's very fun to use. The one problem I do have with Super Sonic is that every time Super Sonic is used, it cuts off the stage music, the repetitive tune that repeats over and over again, and it gets very annoying and very ear-grating very quickly.
Oh, like your voice?
Sonic 2 also has a darn impressive presentation. The game has some very smooth graphics that still hold up to this day, but what holds up these great graphics is a great art direction. Every zone in this game is so detailed, yet are still wonderfully wacky and vibrant. It's just great. The soundtrack is also great. It's catchy, memorable, and very well composed. There's also a lot of variety with the OST, which is also a factor.
Please! That's nothing compared to Cool Cat Likes to Rock and Roll.
Cool cat likes to rock and roll. Cool cat likes to love and sing. Cool cat likes to boogie boogie boo.
No!
Overall, Sonic 2 is a great example of how to do a sequel right. It took the same gameplay formula and expanded off of it while staying true to the original game. And it's thanks to this game that the Sonic series became the juggernaut of a franchise that it was back then, and kinda still is to this day. However, this is only the icing on the cake, as next time, we will take a look into the highest point of the series, that being Sonic 3 and Knuckles.